Hi Razor Sharp family, I'm Kris Leslie coming to you from my office at Razor Sharp Fitness. I'm happy to talk to you today about how to maintain wellness during these stressful times that we're going through. I'm going to kind of be referring to PowerPoint here in the office, but my amazing photographer David is going to edit this, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about as well. So talking about, we have a lot of stress going on in our lives right now, and we don't know how to deal with it because this is a time that we've never had before in our lifetimes. We are dealing with stress in all different ways, from our seniors in high school and college not being able to finish out their year with graduation, which is very sad. Athletes, my family are athletes. My daughter's an athlete, my son's an athlete. Her track season is probably canceled for high school. My son, he's playing college baseball in Arizona, and he texted me the other day and said that his baseball season was over, and I was sitting here in my office and I started crying for him. And so we're grieving the loss of different things. So we need to figure out how can we get through these times in the most effective way. So I have one of the quotes that I like here is, stress is not what happens to us, it's our response to what happens to us. And response is something that we can choose. So there are a lot of things that are out of our control right now, but there are things that are in our control. So we need to figure out how can we control what we can control, and we need to sort of let go of what we can't control. So we want to focus on what you can control. And I pulled up a little picture here. I cannot control if others follow the rules of distancing, if the actions of others are positive or negative. Predicting what will happen, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how long this is going to go on. So we just have to go day by day. Other people's motives, we can't control that. The amount of toilet paper. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and it's just bizarre to see no toilet paper at the grocery store. So that's kind of comical. How long this will last and how others will react. I've seen, if you're on social media, I've seen people reacting obviously in negative ways, and I've seen people reacting in positive ways, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as well. But what can we control? We can control our attitude. We can control if we have a positive attitude or a negative attitude. We can control if I follow the CDC recommendations. You know, Razor Sharp Fitness, we had to close, and now the salons are closing, so if you didn't get your hair done, we might be seeing some roots grow out. Luckily, I got my hair done last week, so I have a little bit of a while to go. And what else? We can control our social distancing. We can control turning off the news. It's a little bit scary when we see something new every single day. The news, we were at 50 people coming in, then we were at 10 people coming in, and then it's just very different now. And I just heard that Illinois, they have to be in their homes, and maybe that's coming to Wisconsin. We don't know yet. Finding out fun things to do at home. So a lot of you are at home with your kids, no matter what age they are. It's a little bit stressful. But again, we can control how we react. How are you reacting with your kids? Are you reacting in a negative way and creating more stress for your children, or are you reacting in a positive way and thinking of it as a time to spend with your children, where normally we're in such a crazy, get to school, get to work, make dinner, and then we don't really connect with our families. So thinking of this as a way to connect with our families. So I like to talk about the dimensions of wellness. So we have different dimensions, and we have control over some of it, and we don't have control over some of it as well. So talking about emotional, we have a lot of emotions going on right now. We have sadness, we have anxiety, we have anger, but we also have, being grateful possibly for the positive things in our lives. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more too. Occupational wellness. A lot of us have been laid off from our jobs, and we don't know, where our money's going to come from necessarily. We don't know, we're going on unemployment. And so that's very scary. We don't have control over that. If your boss is saying you need to go home, we have to close down. We don't have control over that. Some of us are lucky. If you're able to work from home, that's a blessing, and definitely take heed in that it is a blessing. And we have our doctors and nurses. I have a friend who's an ER nurse, and she said She's sort of tired of seeing everyone complaining about being at home with their family, where she's working crazy shifts and she's working and working and working. And I am really grateful for her because she's one of those people out there giving her all to help people stay healthy and get healthy. Spiritual wellness, we all have our beliefs, whether you are a person who goes to church every Sunday and you're not able to now, and maybe your church is streaming for you, or we have our certain values that we need to just trust in. I certainly believe that this is going to get over, and I have the positive values of being a believer in everything happens for a reason, and we just need to look at this in a different way. So whatever your beliefs are, whatever your values are, hold on to those, because hopefully that will help you get through as well. Social wellness, so we have to get away from maybe the people that we normally see. We're not able to see our friends as much. We're not able to go to the gym and see our friends, but we have the social ability to be with our family, like I said before. So being able to have conversations and sitting down for dinner and maybe getting to know your spouse a little bit more, your partner a little bit better, reconnect with them, reconnect with your children. So really taking that time to be social in your own homes. And then there's the physical aspect that I'm going to talk about a little bit more. Yes, we can't go to the gym necessarily, but there's a lot of things we can do to stay physically active. And when you do go to the grocery store, what are you putting in your grocery cart? So we'll take a look at that as well. Possible responses to stress. Yes, we might be feeling some negative things happening in our bodies right now. So with our bodies, we might be having more headaches, or we're feeling more fatigued, and maybe hopefully not, but hopefully we're not getting ill either with just a cold or the virus itself. Hopefully you can stay healthy, and I'm going to talk about ways that you can do that as well. Emotions, we have maybe some depression, a lot of anxiety. We have a broad spectrum of emotions going on right now, and trying to figure out how do we deal with those in the most effective way. Yes, we can grieve. It's fine to grieve. We're grieving not being able to go to the gym. We're grieving not being able to graduate from high school, grieving that our sports season is over. Let yourself grieve, but then getting through that and trying to swing our emotions to the positives. Behavior, we might have loss of appetite, might have insomnia, not being able to sleep, maybe some negative things are coming on. Maybe you're hopefully not a smoker, but people start to smoke more, they start to drink more. I know a lot of moms are drinking a lot of wine right now at home with their kids, but at least you're at home, that's perfectly fine. Mind, loss of focus, having just negativity, negative thoughts, constantly worrying what's going to happen next. So these are some negative things, and we want to try to take control of that as much as possible. So hopefully you're not dealing with stress in a negative way, but a lot of people do deal with stress negatively, so we want to try to avoid some of the possible negative ways that people deal with stress. Smoking, I said, drinking too much, overeating or undereating. I'm going to talk about what we're putting in our grocery carts when we go to the store. Zoning out for hours in front of the TV or the computer, or too much time gaming. A lot of kids like to do their games on the computer. Withdrawing from friends and family, reach out to people even though you're in your home. If you can FaceTime on your phone or pick up the phone and have a conversation, that would be helpful as well. Sleeping too much, procrastinating, taking your stress out on others. So again, hopefully you are trying to swing it to the positive when you're confined in your home with your family, trying not to lash out and taking control of your emotions. So what I want to talk about more is how we can deal with stress in a more positive way. So taking steps to manage your stress. This is sort of a nice visual that you'll see. Some of the things talking about exercise, I'm going to talk about exercise. It says going to the spa, but unfortunately the spas have been mandated to close as well, so we can't go and get a massage necessarily. Having a hobby, what are your hobbies? Maybe you have some hobbies that you've been putting off to the side. I know I like to do scrapbooking. I have 1,000 pictures of my kids that I want to do scrapbooking with, and I never have time to do that. Maybe that's something I'm going to start taking up again. Any hobbies that you can think of that you sort of put to the side because you don't have time for it, well, now you have time for picking up those hobbies again. Meditation and yoga, I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a little bit. Getting out in nature. Yes, today is a little bit cold. I even saw some snowflakes coming in, but it looks like it's going to be in the 40s, hopefully 50s. Get outside, bundle up if you have to, take a walk, get out in nature, play with your kids outside, because that fresh air will really help as well. Music, listening to music. I woke up early this morning. I'm working out at my home right now. I put on the music that motivates me to work out, so that can be helpful as well. So being a positive thinker, I'm pretty much by nature a positive person. I really don't like to dwell in sadness. I don't like to dwell in anger. So I really just try to allow myself to have negative emotions, but swinging it to the positive as quickly as I can. So it says here, a negative thinker sees difficulty in every opportunity. A positive thinker sees an opportunity in every difficulty. So we're dealing with a difficulty right now. So how can you swing it to the positive? And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as well. One huge thing that I always really try to, for myself, and try to preach to people is talking about or thinking about something that you're grateful for. We always have things that we're grateful for. And if you just take a couple seconds right now in your head, just think about 2, 3, or 4, 5 things that you're really grateful for. I'm grateful for my kids are at home. I got my son home from college yesterday, picked him up at the airport. I'm grateful my kids are home. My boyfriend is home. We're all hunkering down together, and we're all healthy right now. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful that I can get up and work out at my home. So think about the things that you're grateful for. So that will pull yourself away from maybe any negative thoughts that you're feeling, and just put a smile on your face, because we always have something to be grateful for, definitely. Letting go of anger. That's really important. I have a couple quotes here. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So think about that for a second. And then we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. We make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. So just kind of thinking about that too. We need to let go of the anger that we're feeling right now. And it's legitimate to think about or have the anger. It's absolutely, we have to have that anger. And let yourself be angry, but then try to let it go as much as possible. Swing it to the positive. Putting a smile on your face. Have you laughed in the last week at all? Or have you been sad? Put on some funny videos. You can go to YouTube, put on some funny videos. Try to laugh with your kids, put on a funny movie, try to get away from the news. If you can put on a movie, a comedy, anything that can make you laugh, that would be very positive to do. A couple pictures I have on here shows a dog saying exercise. I thought you said extra fries. And so if you can just make yourself smile, dance in the living room with your kids. I'm always dancing in front of my daughter. She thinks I'm crazy, but her friends think I'm cool, so that's okay. But I'm always dancing, putting music on. She's 16 years old, so you can imagine with that. But now she's videotaping me dancing and sending it to her friends, and that's making them laugh, so I'm okay with that. Learning how to relax. We're so tight and tense in these days right now, so we just need to try to calm ourselves down. So we're going to do that a little bit. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, being mindful. I do a lot of deep breathing. Just do it with me for a little bit. If you can just take a moment, just really pull it in and release. Just right now talking to you, I'm not used to being videotaped, so maybe I'm talking a little bit fast. Maybe I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm gonna just take a couple of breaths right now with you. Because when we're stressed, our heart rates are elevated and our shoulders are hunching. So it's just bringing the shoulders down, pulling them back. Maybe you just feel, okay, I'm just gonna do those deep breaths. Every time you feel yourself getting stressed, try to do some deep breathing. It's very helpful. I do it all the time. Do it all the time. Plus, when we are meditating or deep breathing, we're being mindful because we have so many things going on in our heads right now. We're worried about this, we're worried about that. So if we're mindful, I'm being present with you right now. If you're present with me right now, listening to what I have to say, and you're just letting go of those negative thoughts, and we're just being mindful and being in the moment and being present. When you're talking with your kids, try to be present for them. Try not to be thinking about everything else going on in your lives. Just sit down, look them eye to eye, and have a conversation with them and show them that you're present. And with your partner or your spouse, same thing. Just try to sit down and be present. And if your mind wanders, just try to pull it back in, because it's very normal. If you're meditating, you're just trying to be mindful. Sometimes, a lot of times, our minds will wander. So if we just kind of pull it in and think about where we're at right now, who we're with, and being mindful, it's definitely very helpful. Doing a little stretching to release out the tension feels really good. A lot of times if you're sitting a lot in your home right now, you'll get a little tension in your shoulders or your back, and just really trying to open it up and release it out, standing up. There's a lot of stretches you can find on YouTube. I did a video, I don't know if you saw it, I did a yoga video, and it just helps to do some stretching and to release out that tension as well. So that would be helpful as well. Getting enough sleep. Now maybe we're gonna get too much sleep because we're at home, so we don't wanna oversleep, but maybe you are having some insomnia. I've had some friends, I wake up and I go on Facebook and I see that they've been up since 2 or 3 a.m. because they can't sleep. So that's not good too, because if we don't get enough sleep, we're gonna be a little bit extra cranky. We don't wanna be extra cranky when we're with our family. So making sure you're getting 7 to 8 hours of good sleep, if at all possible. One thing that I do if I'm not able to sleep is I'll put on my phone, I'll look up on YouTube, go to meditation for anxiety or meditation to sleep, and you can just listen to the music, and that way you're able to just focus in and be mindful of the music. Or it can be a guided meditation where it really talks to you about really doing some deep breathing and doing some imagery of being somewhere else, somewhere warm, or somewhere on a trip, where a lot of us had to cancel our trips. That's another thing. My daughter, we were going to go on spring break to see my son play baseball in Arizona, so we had to cancel that. So another thing that we're sad about, but again, we're able to reschedule it and do it another time. But again, just being mindful, listening to that good music, that can really help you sleep a little bit more effectively. So that might be a technique that you can look into. Getting enough sleep, it reduces stress, it boosts your concentration, especially if you have to be the teacher now for your kids. You want to be able to concentrate. I get a little bit of a giggle out of the parents who are having a hard time with math or any science projects, and I get it. My kids were little too, and when they would bring their homework home, it's like, I don't know how to do this. But we want to be able to concentrate and help them as effectively as possible. And that's another note. Appreciation for teachers has been amazing, right? Because we really don't appreciate our teachers. And so now we're being the teachers, or you're being the teacher. And so maybe you have a better understanding of what they're going through. And you're grateful for them for teaching your kids where it can be very difficult sometimes. Getting enough sleep helps your heart health. It helps you to reduce depression. So again, maybe if you're not sleeping at night, you do a little nap during the day, help yourself, get awake, definitely. All right, adopting a healthy lifestyle. That's what Razor Sharp Fitness is for. We're here, we have been here. You are a member at Razor Sharp because you want to be healthy. And so now you're not able to come in and do the exercises that you normally do, but it's very important to stay healthy. So hopefully, normally we are in here doing our cardio, doing your strength training, doing your stretching, and now you can't come in here. But there's a lot of ways that you can do exercise at home, which is what I've been doing too. Razor Sharp, if you can go on our social media, Facebook page, Instagram, we've been posting little clips of exercises that you can do at home. Our personal trainers are giving tips, and hopefully you can just take 10 minutes a couple times a day. Just move your body. Pull up those YouTube videos that our trainers are sending out and work with them. You can go on YouTube for other videos. You can put in workouts to do at home with no equipment, stretching at home, cardio at home. Again, there's many, many ways you can just pull it up on your computer and work out with that. Work out with your family. Pull up yoga for kids, yoga for family, exercises for family. Get the whole family involved working out together. Get outside for a walk or a run. Squats, push-ups, lunges, planks. Those are all exercises that we really hate, but you can do them at home and you get that heart rate up, you get your cardio in, you get your strength training in. And again, just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, just move your body. It's very important. Don't get into the habit of sitting on the couch all day and watching movies and watching all the shows that you've videotaped. It's very important not to just get lazy and sit around all day. And you can be a role model for your kids to understand the importance of being active. Go up and down stairs a few days. My daughter, she's a week into high school online, and she went out for a run one day. She just ran the stairs. She wasn't really motivated to work out. I said, you need to do something. She ran up and down our stairs a few times and she felt better. So just doing something simple like that. If you need to, put a schedule up on your refrigerator, get a schedule so that you know every day you are going to get active. And I know for me personally, sometimes I don't feel like working out either, but I know how I'm going to feel after I work out. So exercise is my mood enhancer every time. I know I'm going to feel better. I'm going to be in a better mood after I work out. And you will too. So just know if you don't feel like working out, if you're not motivated, take a few minutes. You know you're going to feel better after that brief amount of workout or a longer workout. I found this picture which is showing different shopping carts. Now, if you're like me, you've been to the grocery store, it's a crazy experience to see. I went to Woodman's yesterday and everything was marked off. You couldn't go into any of the aisles. They had a single file line with everyone in their carts. And it was just a crazy thing to see. No toilet paper. You could only have a couple of chicken packages. They're limiting the amount. But if you look at the shopping carts of what people are getting, it can be a little bit sad for me because I'm really wanting people to eat healthy, because if you're eating crappy, you're gonna feel not as good. So there's one shopping cart showing a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugary items, soda, I see just packages of soda, chips, which is fine. You know, it's fine to have some of that, but if you have a shopping cart full of sugary processed foods, soda, sugary drinks, things that aren't going to make you healthy, it's not going to be as good for your health, obviously. On the other side, we have a shopping cart full of vegetables, of healthy proteins, fruits, eggs. So ideally, if you look in your shopping cart, you're going to have a majority of things that are healthy. Get real food. Get into that produce aisle. Make salads. You know, it's really important to put as much healthy, real food into our bodies. Because if we're sitting around on our couches, eating processed foods, putting a lot of crap into our bodies, we're going to come out of this not healthy. Your immunity is not as good if you put crappy food in your bodies, processed foods. Our immunity will get better if you put in real food with vitamins and minerals. And those are things that our bodies need right now to help with everything that we're going through. So just take note in your shopping carts and try to get as much healthy food for you and your family. It's going to be very important. I hope that this has helped a little bit, just to maybe shift your mindset a little bit. Again, just to recap, just try to be positive. Think about the things that you're grateful for. Write it down. Write the things that you're grateful for. Put it on your refrigerator, because if you get into a mindset of negativity, you can go and see those things that you wrote that you're happy about, that you're grateful for. Eat real food, buy healthy groceries, get some exercise in, and hopefully